Hi guys, this is the Work Your Money podcast with host Michelle Wong, and I have a great guest today, Dr. David Neuman. Hi, Dr. Neuman, how are you?
Hi, good afternoon.
So let's get started. Let's do a little bit of an intro. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
My name is David Neuman. I private practice orthopedic surgeon for over a decade in Manhattan and the New York City area. And thanks for having me today, Michelle. I'm happy to talk about my new venture and my new business. And it's about getting people better with those who have joint pain or joint surgery or joint injury, is allowing people to take some control in their joint health and seek home exercises that are mobile and come to your smartphone to help you deal with any joint that might be bothering you.
Sounds interesting. So now you're taking a little bit of a different approach from the traditional methods of medicine, correct?
Well, there are several treatment options for somebody with joint pain, and some of those treatments include physical therapy and or exercise. And apart from all other treatments, this is probably the easiest to do is exercise, meaning if you know what to do, you can do that anywhere you want to, whether it's at home, whether it's on the subway, whether it's at work. It doesn't really matter. What I'm hoping to do is raise some joint health awareness with my new business and new website. It's called pop-doc.com. It's popdoc.com. And what it offers is mobile home exercises to help people recovery after joint injury, joint surgery, or joint pain.
That's very interesting. And this is, I think, a very modern approach because traditionally you have to go to a facility. Now that facility is coming to you. So that's an interesting take on.
I look at it in several different ways. In one of them, it's a supplement to the formal and active physical therapy that people are undergoing. Insurance companies and physical therapy facilities, they expect to see patients and people 2 to 3 times a week and only give a certain number of physical therapy visits per year. And what popdoc.com does is it supplements physical therapy and allows the therapist or rehabilitation specialist to utilize this software resource to help get better outcomes after joint injury and joint surgery.
Okay. So let's recap just a little bit. Let's rewind a little bit in regards to, how you got into medicine and kind of like go through that and your journey to where you are now.
Certainly. So I always liked helping people. I was always a hands-on type of person, and am fairly social, which means I like to speak to people and hear about themselves and just share experiences. I went to medical school in downstate in Brooklyn. I stayed there for a 5-year residency, which included orthopedic surgery. And orthopedic surgery is bone and joint injuries and the treatment of them. I then specialized in sports medicine, which is small joint or small incision surgery, which involved small incisions to get inside the joint and to use camera and video equipment to see the joint better and treat the damage better. And this was a great treatment that helped many people get rid of their pain and increase their function in their joints. And as time went on, some of these patients and people, they still had weakness and stiffness in their joints, and they weren't back to that functional groove where they like to be and where they want to be able to go out and have fun and do recreational activities without pain. And these home exercises or these routines in which people can regain or achieve good joint motion, tone, flexibility, strength, condition, and endurance. These were sometimes lacking in these people with surgery or with joint pain or injury. And so popdoc.com helps address these deficiencies by giving people a tool to take these exercises and use them on their smartphone or tablet or device whenever they want to help really diminish pain and increase the function to a level that they feel like they can do just about whatever they want to without fear of pain or injury.
Amazing, amazing. And one of the things that that I'm going to share in regards to that is that when you're in the medical field, that's total dedication that you're putting in to help other people. It is a business. People don't realize that there's different industries in business, and the medical field is a major component, and there's subdivisions of that, orthopedic, and you have pain management and so forth. So for you to be really in that type of business, you have to be a people person, and I've seen doctors that are very dedicated to their patients. That it's something that you have to, it comes from within in order to be with patients consistently. And it's just one of those things where that's where a lot of dedication, because you're putting in your time, you're going into school, you're getting educated, you have to go and get your license, and and then open up that business. So that's
it's certainly a commitment, and like I said, my drive to medicine and orthopedic surgery came from my enjoyment of using my hands and tools and using those types of things to reconstruct or construct something. And then I'm a people person as it is, and I enjoyed getting great fulfillment and joy from the patients that I operated on who came back and just felt very grateful. And I think that what popdoc.com does, it extends it one step further and allows people to really get those outcomes that they hopefully desire. Some of it's motivation of the patient, and so part of my education and part of my discussions with people and patients is that, look, part of your joint health depends on you and the things you do and how you do them, and the just being smart about your body and about your joints. And the recovery phase is really the important aspect. When somebody's done operating on you, or you've had that ankle sprain and you're finally out of your walking boot or whatever, then that's your time really to take your joint health into your own hands. And what popdoc.com does, it allows you this resource, and of course you share it with your practitioner or your doctor or your therapist or your personal trainer and say, look, I want to get better and I need some help. So they guide you in, and then the exercises that you do at home are there for you, 24/7, 365 days a year, just to kind of if you have some dedication to your joint health, then the doctors that care for you can feel more proud about helping you get to where you want to be.
Oh, that's so true. I can personally relate to that. I had a car accident a couple of months back, and it left me with herniated disc in my neck, back, tear in my shoulder, and all this other stuff. So I just had surgery recently, and the doctor was telling me, you have to start physical therapy. You have to go right back on it, because if you don't, you're not going to have the mobility that you need. The whole purpose of being able to have the surgery is to have some relief from that. And I'm following what the doctor is telling me, because it's my part, it's my body. You have to do that. And the
That's
patients
right.
they get discouraged, and they say, well, I'm not getting any better. It's really that you have to dedicate yourself and put that time to the recovery. So
Yeah.
I totally understand where you're coming from in regards to it's a teamwork. The doctor is telling you what needs to be done. You have to also do your part in order to really recover.
A couple of things about that, Michelle. I mean, unfortunately you got in an accident, but you're not alone. Many people have these accidents, whether it's sports related or work related or car accident related. And yes, you're right. It is a team approach about getting better, and you, the patient, you're part of the team, and your rehab specialist and your doctor and your surgeon, they're all part of your team. So as a team, you can really achieve more, I think, for your goals and aspirations for your joints. And popdoc.com is a resource to help that team achieve its goal, and that team ultimately is you. And many people after injury, they they want either it's a very quick recovery or immediate gratification, and it doesn't always happen that way. Sometimes the normal bodily process of healing is 12 to 16 weeks, and so if you don't use your leg, let's say, or your shoulder, then it gets stiff and weak in the first 2 to 3 weeks, and then you're already behind the 8 ball. So part of the treatment philosophy that I've always had, and that I still think that holds true in the pop doc world, is that things take time, and you can't lose faith in yourself or your joints or your doctors or the treatment providers, and you got to just do something, whether it's just stretching out your arm to get your motion back, or icing it, or taking some medication if you desire, something to help kind of push this along towards recovery. Ultimately, it's a 9 to 12 month recovery after something like a car accident and a surgery. And a surgery, and no matter which surgery, most of them are a huge portion of them are just a treatment modality and not a cure. So the cure part, or to get the most out of your injury or the most out of your surgery, it's about starting to do exercises really soon after, once your doctor says go for it, just doing them and showing up at therapy and getting the most out of your time until you can finally walk again, or sleep easily, or have less pain, or be able to carry your children around, or do your daily activities, or even getting back into the playing field and doing some of those more rigorous activities to help you enjoy your life and enjoy the time you spend with others.
Okay. I have another question. I was just thinking about this while I was hearing you explain what patients need to do in order to better themselves. In regards to pop doc, is it something that you're just doing solely yourself, or is it that you're also working like with other doctors? Is there like a partnership, or it's just solely you?
So I work closely with a physical therapist who's a doctorate in physical therapy, which means she's had extra training, and she really believes in the concept of manual manipulation and utilizing the body as a whole. So I've been working with her for 4 or 5 or 6 years now about this, and it's about putting together a large database on exercises that target every joint and many of the most common surgeries to the knee and the shoulder and the ankle and the hip, as well as for the neck and back. So I work closely with her, and I have a project manager and a web designer that's helped kind of round out the team. But yes, I think teamwork is important, and the database online is really second to none, in such that it has very well-designed exercise programs and exercises that are easy to follow and easy to understand. And once again, the goal is for the people using them to feel better and to function better with less pain, so they can enjoy an active lifestyle.
Okay. And pop doc, is it, where is it, where is like the office, or where is it located? Is it New York, or is it that you're also, because of the fact that part of this is online, is it that you're also doing other states? Like, how is that?
Yeah, so there's a main office in Midtown Manhattan, right near Penn Station, and that's really where the administrative staff lives, and some of my meetings are undertaken. But since it is a web-based online joint health community, it's accessible nationally and internationally, and the programs are set up to be direct to consumer, as well as to professional societies or offices or hospitals. So I have patients and people all over the country that are using the exercises, but my main base is Manhattan, because there's just no place like it.
Okay, so there you have it, folks. This platform is basically now international. That's amazing that you would be able to touch so many lives globally. That's something that this is innovative. This is the first time I'm hearing this, so this is amazing.
Yeah, it's been really fulfilling, and really, I'm proud of my team and everyone that's helped me get this far, because it's really something for everybody, and like I tell friends and family and people socially, it's an online joint health community. So if you have joints, you should certainly come and check it out. There's a blog section that is becoming more and more active, and that's when professional providers give their tips and suggestions towards joint health to the blog, so people can read about it and gain some knowledge about themselves. There's also a social forum, which is a unique area online where people with joint pain from around the country can come together and talk about their experience with it, whether it's surgery or medications or certain exercises that they feel other people should know about. It's about raising joint health awareness in the country, because more than 50% of people over the age of 55 suffer from some form of arthritis. Arthritis being the painful breakdown of the joint. So joint pain can affect everyone's mood. They can affect your energy level. They can make people depressed. So our goal is to raise joint health awareness and give people the tools so they can hopefully have less pain in their joints and be more functional, or maintain their functional level, so they can hang out with their friends and family, do recreational activities, and enjoy life.
Amazing. And one of the other things that I love about this is that you have a platform for people to really get together and discuss topics that is relatable to everybody. Because sometimes one of the things that people don't realize is that when you're going through something, sometimes you feel like you're by yourself. So if you're suffering from something and you're not communicating with other people, you feel like you're by yourself and you don't know what to do and stuff. But when you have a community of other people that have similar situations, it's something where you can open up, you can have that discussion, and also be able to get professionals as well, other doctors that would be able to fill in the blanks. And then that's, it increases that person to really say, okay, you know what, I see other people are having the same situation. They can have accounts of other people's stories and recovery and stuff, and that motivates them to really put in all of their effort into recovering and doing that 100%.
Yeah, I fully agree with you. I think that this is almost a veritable support group for someone else who has, 2 or 3 knee surgeries in their past, and they don't know what their next step is going to be. They can discuss it with other patients and people who have been through a similar type of scenario. There's nothing beats going to the doctor and talking with them about it, or seeing the physical therapist and saying, look, I need some help stretching or some pointers. So this is what's supposed to hopefully be a melting pot of people with similar conditions and wanting to achieve the same goal, which is less joint pain and better joint function. So this is exactly why I think I enjoy doing this type of work, and it makes me fulfilled when I educate or I give tips and suggestions to people about what they could potentially try. And then the exercise platform is really, the people that use it, they find that it's beneficial. It helps them kind of push through to the next level, so they feel like this is not a lost cause, but is something that if I work at it, then maybe I can maintain and preserve my joint function to a state that I'm happy with.
Absolutely. And one of the other things too that I also love about this platform is that there are times that patients cannot physically go out to a therapy place or to get their treatment per se, and being able to get that online and be able to do it from home, sometimes it's more convenient.
That's certainly part of the reason and the rationale behind this, is because sometimes the sufferers, people who suffer from cancer and the treatment from cancer of radiation or chemotherapy, it kind of wipes their body out and they don't always feel like leaving the house. And so these exercises are really done. They can be done from their own couch. They don't even have to stand up and do some flexibility and tone exercises. It's been pretty well shown now in the literature that exercise and exercise routines and regimen, they can help modify chronic disease, most chronic diseases, whether it's high blood pressure, obesity, high cholesterol, any of those things, even asthma and those cancer sufferers. It can help people from their home when they just don't feel like sitting in traffic, getting to the therapist, or the copays are high, or they just don't have any more therapy sessions left. This is a great supplement to what they have when they desire to like do things on their own and get to that level that they maybe thought they couldn't get to, or bring back some blood flow and energy into their joints so they can like feel better. That's ultimately the goal of the platform.
Amazing. So now, Dr. Neuman, I want to ask you this. You have a successful platform, and it's moving along. It's going international. Where do you see your company, this platform going in the next few years?
Well, I'd like to establishing good credibility and a good veritable product is important. So we have a couple studies undergoing now about comparing the use of this platform versus nothing or traditional. So once we vetted it out and we kind of streamlined it and people understand that this is for real, it is the next wave of technology is to have the consumer of healthcare to be just that, so they can consume these products and help themselves, maybe get lower premiums, have less joint pain, need less joint surgery or something like that, or just have better control over their chronic medical conditions. So I want to see this become a really well recognized and a household type of product that people are using, whether they're young and they're athletes and they want to stay on the field longer, because there are many pre-sport stretching and post-sport conditioning exercise bundles that are offered on popdoc.com. I want to see this be really welcomed by the medical community, as well as the orthopedic community and the rehab community, to understand that this is a resource for them to use. So I like to see this go international, as well as some maybe different languages at the website. Right now the website's in English, and a portion of it will be in Spanish quite soon, but it's really like other countries and nationalities that aren't comfortable with the English language. They still deserve joint health and joint exercises. So I'd like to see this become more of a global international platform where people can use and utilize. I'm also developing an app for it. So once that's kind of up and running, it's going to help streamline the exercise platform. Right now it's a mobile website, which means it's responsive. It can go to your smartphone, your tablet, your desktop, as well as your laptop. But you need an internet connection in order to get all that data. And so ultimately with the app and less internet necessities, then it will be more and more widespread.
Wow. So this, I'm still in awe, because you're basically one of the first individuals to start something, a cross between medical and being technology being advanced, and crossing them, putting them together hand in hand. And that's where we're at right now. In reality, everything that is going on is being advanced by technology. It's being put up online, and that touches so many people. As to you're just locally working and connecting with people here, it's on a higher level where you can reach the masses. And it's right here. It's going on right here. You're one of the first people.
Yeah,
it's an amazing thing that what you're doing.
Thank you. I'm really, I'm so proud and happy to be able to offer this to people. And like I said, my team means a lot to me, and they've helped put together this platform that's really second to none. There are other facets of technology in medicine these days, including, let's say, blood glucose control and asthma control and monitoring. So it's definitely the wave that's coming now, and part of preventive orthopedics and part of at-home recovery. This is a fledgling business and a fledgling modality, but I think it is efficacious, meaning it works. And if people put their time in, I think really the sky's the limit as far as them, being happy again, smiling again, being able to be part of the workforce and enjoy their family as well.
And that's the important thing, that you're helping these people be able to get back on track. And people that have never been in a situation where they had surgery or circumstances that they didn't have an injury, they don't really understand what goes behind the situation. It doesn't only take a toll on you physically, but also takes a toll on you mentally and emotionally, because if you're not doing your day-to-day, it's frustrating that you have to be confined and you have to go through the treatments, and then it's more treatment, and some people tend to give up after. It's like, why am I doing this? And they don't see the bigger picture of being able to just stick with it, and then so that you be able to fully recover. And having someone like you to be able to encourage them and say, no, you have, these are the things that you need to do, and have a platform where people can go and connect and be able to really get the resources that they need in order to fully function and put them back in their normal self. That's where I have a lot of respect for you for that.
Yeah, and I thank you, because you can certainly relate, just having a recent trauma and undergoing care from doctors and even having surgery, that that it does take a toll on you physically and emotionally and financially and socially, because you might be more frustrated around your friends and family, and you might be like, I didn't do anything, why are you yelling at me? So pain and alteration of your normal lifestyle does affect people, and as it has you. And so other people are similar to you, and this is exactly why this platform can help people get back into their regular routines, and that's what I'm hoping that it does, because these things do work. And if somebody has just like a stiff wrist after having a splint or having a sprain after falling on their wrist, these exercises can be done, and they do help as long as you do them. If you don't do them, then of course they're not going to help. So treatment with medical providers, as well as supplementing their care with home exercises, is a way for people to hopefully get back into their normal lifestyle, working, enjoying recreational activities, and just being more confident and comfortable with themselves, and being able to sleep through the night without pain, for instance, is a big facet towards normalcy.
Wow. So, Dr. Neuman, in regards to how things are going with, because this is an innovative approach to medicine, what else do you see in the works for, like, how medicine is going? Do you see it still being present with on a traditional sense, or do you see it more going in that route in regards to more like online presence or things of that nature?
Yeah, I think that unfortunately, as Americans, we have these baby boomers that represent a large population, and just in general, the population of America is going up, and our medical insurance, of what's going to happen with all these insurance plans and how it's being affected on a federal or state level, that this isn't really going away. And Americans, have a lot of chronic conditions, especially when they reach like the 40s, 50s, and 60s, and this can plague them for the rest of their life. And people are living longer these days, so therefore there's more time to either enjoy life or suffer with chronic disease and pain. So I think that traditional medicine's not really going anywhere, but these new technologies, whether it's in high blood pressure, diabetes, cholesterol, cancer, or joint health, they're all an important aspect towards the overall care of Americans and America. And I think that when people can hopefully look inside themselves a little bit and just do something different to affect their joint health or affect their quality of life, and it might be a dietary thing, it might be an exercise thing, it might be a hydration thing, it might be a sleep thing. Could be one of those 4 cornerstone aspects of what you put into your body in order to get out of it. So I think that technology is certainly here to stay, and it's only going to become more and more important to someone's overall daily health and daily life. And PopDoc is essentially a lifestyle. It's a doing things in moderation. It's thinking before you act. It's being mindful of your joints and your body. If somebody, it's been well shown that people who have a lot more weight on their body frame, they suffer more chronic conditions, and they also don't do as well after joint surgery. So potentially controlling some of that will help people just, and it's not easy, but controlling that, and what I like to tell people is just trend downward. Don't trend upwards, even if it takes you 4 to 6 months to go 5 pounds. You'd rather it be 5 pounds less than 5 pounds more. It's not a race, and there's no magic bullet. This has to be a lifestyle initiative. And I believe that in Americans, the youth is where our future lies. And so part of PopDoc and part of what PopDoc has is these age-appropriate media presentations that we bring into elementary, middle, and high schools. And we talk to them about joints and what they are and how they function and why it's important to understand them and to use them with, like you use anything. Just use it with care, and if you treat it well, then it will treat you well. This is part of a nonprofit organization that I'm the executive director of, and it's called JEO. Mm-hmm. It's Joint Education Outreach. And this is also a very new program that the website is not even live, but it will be. It's jointeducation.org. And what these media presentations, I'm hoping will be national, and they will be used by professional providers in the local communities to give these lectures to the youth of today, to help them understand more about their joints and why it's an important thing to take care of them from a young age, and to learn routines and habits that they can bring with them for the next several decades or lifetime.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I think that more than anything, the youth today is not properly educated in regards to health. That's one factor. They're trying to bring more awareness to that, because most of the children, when I was a kid, I was very active, and I used to run around and just be more active. Now the children now, they're not as active. They're either watching TV or they're playing video games and stuff, and they're not being stimulated either intellectually by having them read more books, or physically by being more active. And bringing out awareness at a young age, it prepares them so that they can start living more of a healthy lifestyle. So by doing that, of bringing in awareness with joints and what you need to do to prevent having any issues down the road, that definitely is one of the important factors that needs to be implemented now.
Yeah, I'm really excited about this new program. I think it's got a lot of legs behind it. It's a lot of positive feedback that I've received from my colleagues and friends and family. And over by the new year, hopefully, at least the media presentations will be ready, and the website will be up hopefully by mid-November, to kind of, once again, it's about raising joint health awareness and giving people, whether it's students, teachers, and of course young children, it's giving them something to help them with their future.
Absolutely. So, Dr. Neuman, I'm going to sidetrack a little bit here. Usually I talk about books in general, like books that my guests have read recently or recommend. I wanted to ask you, is there any books that you're reading right now, or any books that you recommend that you've read in the past that you would want to share with our listeners?
As my family can attest, my reading over the last couple decades have been medically based, and I love getting these online subscriptions to medically related things and occurrences. I don't read too much fiction because I live in a very factual mindset as a scientist and physician. There was a Time magazine special edition. It was called The Science of Exercise, and that was an incredible. The whole journal, the whole. From front to back, essentially had prominent researchers and medical doctors in the community and country just discussing the benefits of exercise and how it's been shown, whether it's in the laboratory or on human specimen, it's been shown to be beneficial for chronic disease, for energy level, for mental health, for dementia, for post-stroke, or anything. And it opened my eyes a little bit more about how needed something like popdoc.com was in the community and society, as well as just the benefits of reading what other people think about exercise, and as they go hand in hand with diet and nutrition, and how our goal is to stay healthy and be productive and to solve problems in society to help society as a whole be better well suited.
Okay. I'm into medical literature, so enlighten me. Like, what kind of medical books have you read? Because I like to read anything in the medical psychology, biology, things like that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I get these. I get the Medical State Society report from a couple societies I belong to, and they send these weekly or monthly reports, and it just synopses of what's going on, whether it's new drugs that have been developed and are being released, or the discussion about medical marijuana in the community and whether that's is that a positive or negative thing. The opioid crisis has always been something that's been gaining more and more attention these days. And of course, the obesity epidemic that's sweeping the nation. And so some of these things where you can read what other investigators and physicians have been talking about, and they're very intriguing to me, and even something like Zika virus and how it's affected people, and even to this day, it's something that was new, and so people are still researching on it. To me, reading that kind of stuff is more important, or just as important as reading a good fiction novel. I mean, it's great for your brain to read fiction and to explore new lands on paper. It's a similar philosophy for me and television. I mean, there's a lot of television out there that's mindless stuff that helps keep people entertained, but they don't always have a positive message, or they don't always give you something that you can take with you and say, I'm going to try and implement that in my daily life or how I interact with others. So I believe in the science of life, and how different periodicals and different books help kind of affect me in ways where I continue to learn and grow and want to share some of these things with the people around me.
Interesting. Well, it makes sense, because you always want to know what's going on in your surroundings, especially when it's related in the medical field. In regards to diseases, there are so many diseases now that are popping up constantly, viruses that are coming up constantly. So you want to be more aware of what's going on, and also find ways that can help you discuss it with patients or other people to be more preventative in that aspect. In regards to being more healthy, that makes sense as well, because yes, we do have we're in a society right now that we have a large percentage of obesity here than it is globally. And it's because of the type of foods that are being put out there, processed food. And now because of that, they're introducing this whole thing with the calories, how many calories are in it, if there's GMO in specific products, or if it's organic. And they're bringing all this awareness in. And so we have to be more conscious of that, and being more active. That's another thing. In order for you to really think of being able to live a long period of time, you have to be healthy, you have to be more active, and be more conscious of what you're doing on the day-to-day. So I totally can understand why you're always reading up on those things. And there's just like multiple factors, that every day there's always something new going on that affects the medical field, because there's always new things, new trends, there's new medication that's coming out, so you always want to be kept in the loop. In regards to opioids, yes, there is a high, right now there is a high rate of people that are abusing it. And they're like,
Yeah.
it's an epidemic right now.
Right.
And it's crazy.
And not only, potentially they're not even abusing it, but they've just become addicted to it, which
Yes.
means it affects their daily life in a negative way, and it affects their friends and family around them. And it's sometimes very hard to pull people out of that addiction. And so that's a whole nother thing that's just, people like to point fingers as to who and why and how come it became that way. But I think more it's like, it's here now, so let's try and deal with it on an individual basis and help individual people overcome this so they can get their lives back, because it ruins people financially and socially and emotionally and economically, and it becomes very hard to deal with, and it can lead to everlasting change and change for the negative and for the wrong reasons also. And as you were stating with the obesity thing and the sedentary lifestyle, it's because in part there's just a lot of people around, and you can't always have time to exercise when there's too many people. And for instance, in the public schools, there's one gym class a week is just not really cutting it when the national recommended allowance is 30 to 60 minutes a day. And so it becomes very difficult to achieve that. So I encourage people to walk and use the stairs and just kind of get do some activities, whether it's even doing laundry or gardening or something like that you might not think is exercise, is just getting the heart up and using the muscles and kind of getting the circulation going to kind of avoid the sedentary lifestyle. And all the, some recent thing I read was sitting is the new smoking, which means people who have a seated job at work and perform a sedentary lifestyle, they liken it to smoking cigarettes because it's more about how bad it is for your whole body. It doesn't just affect your back or your butt when you're sitting, but all the organ systems also become a little bit more lazy, a little more sedentary, and then weight gain occurs, and then all of a sudden it's this downward spiral. And I think doing exercise, even if it's in the workplace or if you only have 7 to 10 minutes, you can do some stretching and flexibility and toning exercises through this platform, through the popdoc.com platform, to help you just get in those activity numbers and minutes in order to stay healthy, have less joint pain, and to fit into your clothes over decades.
Not only that, it's also it shifts your mood. So if you're not active, your mental state, you're emotionally always down. I'm not saying that everybody is in that situation, but it does affect your mood. It affects your emotions. And when you're active and you're constantly exercising, your endorphins go up and you're more upbeat, you're more happy, and you're more energetic. You can do more things when you're more active and you're exercising. It definitely changes your mindset, and it also changes your mood overall.
I fully agree with you, and there are certainly recent studies over the last 2 to 5 years that have just supported the words that you say, because it's not just hearsay. It's not just someone saying, yeah, you should work out for X, Y, and Z. No, it's been shown in the laboratory, and it's been shown through human trials that mood is increased, is elevated. There's less depression. There's better sleep patterns when you're active and you do exercise. And that's just about being nice to some unknown person that dropped a piece of paper on the ground and say, hey, you're just being a nice person and a citizen that's conscious socially is important. And I think exercise will elevate this mood and will keep you mobile for a longer period of time. And hopefully, it'll build with your success. You might have familial success, you might have financial success, success at work. Those things are all built into how you tackle the problems that are presented to you. And if you're thinking too much about the TV show or being on your couch or being depressed or having joint pain, then maybe you can't focus on being positive and being a positive influence on the people around you.
Mm-hmm. And just to chime in on that, confidence is also another factor as well. When you're more active, you're exercising, you're eating more healthy, and you become more fit. You see yourself and you become more confident of what you're seeing. So the internal goes external, and you start to see it, and that also affects that. You become a more confident person, and you're more outgoing. And I've seen that happen with individuals that weren't so active, and then they start becoming active and just doing the day-to-day, and they start to see it. They become more confident, become more of a happy person, and more energetic. They're more outgoing. So it does affect you mentally and emotionally.
Yeah,
for sure.
I mean, you hit the nail right on the head for sure, because when you're self-assured and you look at yourself in the mirror and you're happy with what you see, you might make you go, leave the house with that kick in your step that you're taking on the world and you're doing a good job, and you're gonna leave people wanting more when they meet you and see you and speak with you, and you hand in something at work or at school and you feel good about it, and you're like, yeah, I can do this. I can tackle that. I can avoid that conflict. I can solve that problem. I can tackle whatever comes in front of me. And I think it does come from within. So it's true. I think that when you see results after starting something and a new thing that's in a positive light, it gives you a new outlook for your daily life. And I think that's part of what this lifestyle modification and just doing things for you and for your society that kind of brings you happiness.
So now, in one of the parts that you were just discussing now, I don't know what your take is on it, or if you want to, give feedback, but cannabis is a little controversial because there's two sides to a story and everything. I do see that there is benefit for people that are going through like cancer, or they're going through specific physical ailments. Cannabis has been proven to help alleviate that. What is your take on that overall? Like, what's your stance?
Yeah, I think it's a good question, and it's certainly gaining momentum in many states. It's already they've already taken that leap into the medicinal usage or the recreational usage, and then other states may or may not follow suit, and there is a lot of controversy behind it. I mean, generally these are genetic strains of plants that come from the ground, and so they're not chemically altered necessarily, and I think that's a good thing. There's also a couple facets of cannabinoids and THC versus the cannabinoids that help with pain relief, and then they got the psychotropic side of things that make people see things and hallucinate or become euphoric. And the research has gone on and shown that it's that THC and cannabinoids, they're fairly healthy. I mean, they're not going to cause you cancer, and they're not going to affect you in a negative way as long as you use it in moderation. And if you have chronic conditions, because at least some of the indications for prescribing medical marijuana, at least it's in some states, has included the chronic pain condition. So it certainly, the research has shown that there is some reduction in the feeling and the perception of pain when you're on these cannabinoids and THC. That's not to mention how it helps with nausea and helps with low appetite and things like that. So I think there's more and more place in it, and as technology is growing in the country, so is the use of medical marijuana to help people afflicted by these conditions that traditional medications can't always reach, and they can't always achieve, and they maybe have so many side effects that you might feel better symptomatically, but your liver's dying because of all the side effects, or your other things that from these chemicals or these medications, these prescription medications. So I think THC and the cannabinoids should be a welcome alternative for some people that can tolerate it and that are indicated for it. And I hope, and that's not even to mention the tax ramifications that some of these states that are now have public or medicinal use, that the tax benefits I think have been fairly lucrative for them. So it's been helping them, make their budget essentially, and to exist as a state that's profitable instead of a state that loses money every year.
See, and I'm glad that you're giving your perspective on it, because on a medical standpoint, because they always show the negative on it, and it has a stigma. When you hear marijuana, it's, oh my God. And yes, there is, some people use it for recreational purposes, but the bigger picture is that, yes, it is a plant-based medication that has helped many people when, people that are going through cancer and they have a lot of pain, and they're, and they have, because of the chemo, they become nauseous, and there's other side effects, and it helps alleviate that. It alleviates some of the pain, and it relaxes a little bit of that pain set. And also for people like, I've seen this, on video, someone that had Parkinson's, and they gave that, I think it was some kind of oil or something.
Yeah, CBD oil, potentially.
And from seeing that person go through tremors from Parkinson's, and then 20 minutes after, that person is in a calm state, that shows that this is for the good, not for the bad.
Yeah, and it's never going to be a one for all for one. It's not going to be for every single person out there, but it certainly should be a tool and a resource in the doctor's mind to be able to offer it to somebody to see if it will help, and even if it's a trial basis, to see does this how it affects them, because some of these drugs that are researched and produced by big pharma, they might help some of the symptoms, but they don't offer necessarily a cure. And the side effects and the side effect profile, the list is longer, is quite long, and it has very vast effects on entire bodies and bodily systems and organs. And so sometimes the THC or the cannabinoid can offer an easier solution if it does work for that specific person. So I hope that as time goes on, there's some leniency to some of the medical marijuana laws in some states that are really opposed to it right now. And I know that in time, I think some of the states will loosen up some of their reins on it all.
I hope so, because there's quite a few people that would benefit from it on a medical standpoint.
Yeah, agreed.
So, Dr. Neuman, I wanted to ask you this. There are listeners, there are viewers that are seeing this segment. Where can they find you? Where can they locate you? And,
Yeah, I think the best way is, of course, going to the website, and that's POP. It's POP-DOC.com. It's online and live now. The new upgraded site should be running hopefully by early November or so. There's also a contact us section on there, which has a email address is probably the easiest way. And I encourage them to, if they have desire to look at and browse the site, is to allow their medical practitioners to know about the site also, because I want it to be something that the medical community is comfortable referring their patients in, just because once the medical doctor has vetted it and looked through it and says, oh, this is okay, they're not going to hurt themselves, it's going to be beneficial, it'll supplement what I do, and ultimately, better outcomes for the patients is more business into the doctor's office. So we want that to be something that it goes hand in hand with the usage of popdoc.com. And popdoc, it's a dual acronym, so it stands for post-operative program documents. as well as preventive orthopedic program documents. So it's both in a preventive or proactive state where you do things to like prevent joint pain and injury, and then it's also for those who have been injured, suffering from pain or had surgery, to help them kind of recover through these home exercise program documents.
Well, I certainly like the name. It's very catchy.
Thank
it's
you.
something that people can remember. I think that when I hear that, it's more of the pop culture type of thing. And so when I hear Pop Doc, I said, wow, that is really catchy. That would be something that not just for myself to remember, but anybody else to remember. It's a very catchy. I like it.
Yeah, thank you.
And definitely you have a great platform, and what you're doing is amazing, and you're definitely catching the patients that are out there internationally. I definitely see this being something. I think it's going to be a household name. I really do see that coming in the
That's
near
nice
future.
of you. Thanks.
Well, this is how I see it. What you put out there, the universe complies. So I strongly, I'm very strongly feel that when you say something, it does come out and it becomes true. So I do this all the time with the people that I have here on the show. And when I see something that has potential to grow into something bigger than all of us, I always voice my inner opinion on it. So I definitely see this being something that is going to be a household name. And definitely, guys, you hear it first. You're going to be seeing it. Follow Dr. Neuman. And Dr. Neuman, is there anything else that you want to share with our audience?
Well, I just once again thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure, and I am passionate about joint health, and Pop Doc, we are passionate about joint health, and we feel that with a little self responsibility and assuredness, these exercises can be ascertained, they can be performed, they can make a difference in your life, and I think that social media and the technology of medicine is in its fledgling state and is not going anywhere. It will be here for a long time, and I hope to be a foundation for joint health that continues to grow as time goes on.
So, guys, we're coming towards the end of the show. One, I want to let everybody know that if you want to listen to more of our show, our episodes, who we have as guests in the near future, please tap into Work Your Money podcast. It's broadcast live from B-Box Radio Saturdays from 2:30 to 4:30, and also it's being broadcast on TV on Universe Network TV, channel 45 on the Realty TV channel. So I'm really excited about having the TV aspect of it. And also, if you guys want to follow me or connect with me, you can definitely do so on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. That would also be Work Your Money. And if you want to tap into my website, that would be workyourmoney.net. And we also do YouTube, so that is also Work Your Money podcast. So you can always find me anywhere. You can always approach me. I don't bite. I'm very approachable, very easygoing, and love to have people on, hear their story, and if they have a business that either is starting out or they are veterans that have been doing this for quite some time, please contact me, and we'll love to have you on the show. So, Dr. Neuman, it was a pleasure to have you on the show. Very informative. Love the concept of what you're doing. Very innovative. I see this being the future of medicine, and I will be keeping an eye on you and what you're doing in the near future, because I do see more wonderful things coming from you. So definitely, guys, check it out. Dr. David Neuman, thank you so much
Thank you. I really, once again, I've been honored to be here today, and wish you great success in your TV and podcast world. I think it's also very trendy and up and coming, and it's not going anywhere. This is a way for people to talk about others and to get social issues out there in the open, as well as new business and new business ideas. So kudos, and that's great. Thank you.
Thank you. And Dr. Neuman, my door is open. Welcome to have you back. I want to follow up with you very soon, see what's going on with PopDoc, and also anything else that you have going on. Please, like I said before, we'd love to have you back on, discuss other things that are going on in the business, and as well as what you have going on. And also looking to see this platform go up, maybe have a little launch party and we can televise it as well. I'm very excited for that. So guys, this is the Work Your Money podcast. Until the next time, take care. Bye.